Hey everybody, my name's Brayden.
And I'm Harold.
And we're here
to talk Trikes.
This is our new weekly episode. We'll post every Tuesday where me and Harold will take your guys' question and answer them on a weekly basis every Tuesday.
We want to welcome Yann. He's one of our lead mechanics here at Utah Trikes.
Thanks. I'm
Hi,
happy
Yann.
to be here with you guys.
We're happy to have you, man. Yann, you've been working in the bike mechanic field for years, before you came into Utah Trikes. Will you give us a little brief rundown of your history as a bike mechanic?
Well, as a professional, I have a paper to say that I'm a professional bike mechanic about 15 years,
Nice.
but tinkering on bikes about 30 years.
Wow, awesome.
Been in the industry a long time.
Industry.
Long time. I'm the type who like to fix my own stuff. So when I was racing as a teenager back in the day, that's how I learned my first mechanic, teaching my own bike.
Sure.
Yep.
Racing as a teenager, will you tell me about that?
Where I'm from, you get a driver license at 18 years old. Before that, if you can afford a moped, you just ride your bike everywhere. So I was in really good shape riding everywhere, and I started racing at the age at about 14 to 18 years old.
Okay.
Yeah, and what did it for me is I finally got a driver license and got a little lazy.
Sure. So that's where your racing career ended.
Exactly.
With 18.
Exactly.
Now, I thought you were from Idaho. I don't think they give out licenses when they're 18 in Idaho.
I am. As an American, I'm a proud Idahoan. Yeah. Best place for... So originally, obviously, I'm French. I was born and raised in France. But Idaho makes sense. Country of the potato, the best French fries in the nation.
Of course.
Of course.
Glad you could make it down to us here in Utah.
Yeah, I actually moved to Utah to come work specifically for Utah Trikes, yeah.
I remember you met us back at I remember the first time I met you is back at our Payson shop, and you were...
Yes, yeah. I started in this building, but yeah, I went to meet you and the rest of the team at the Payson
Right,
Club.
I remember that back when we were in the tiny little teeny weeny shop.
Yeah. I still wonder how you guys were making it over there.
I don't know how we did it either.
Glad things are better now.
Yeah, we got more room.
We got more room.
More room to breathe.
Really glad to have you this week. This is
Thank you.
our
Glad to be here.
good. This is our special ice week. We're talking about ice trikes today. We actually just won an award. I'm gonna pull our fancy schmancy trophy out. It's
Made out of wood.
Made out of wood. I know. Thank goodness it's not ice. We just won the ICE Most Innovative Marketing Campaign Award. You can see it here, nice and beautiful. I understand that you have also gotten an award directly from ICE.
I feel like you're trying to get me jealous here, but...
A little bit. Show it off a little bit.
I got one too.
I like to brag. Our lead mechanic, one of our lead mechanics, Yann, just got what is it?
So it's the Best ICE Base Mechanic 2024.
Fantastic.
Yep.
Super proud of you. I don't know who else would deserve it more. Tell me about it. Tell me about how you got here.
So I work at Utah Trike, obviously. And on the side, I do a lot of work with a team named Rusty Dogs of War, which is a team of disabled veterans who race high level, like anything or 500 miles and more. So what happened is Caleb, who created this non-profit, is the main racer and is the guy who owned 10 world records on the VTX. So when we met, obviously I did everything I could to be his personal mechanic.
Right.
and so he signed me up. He sent an email that almost made me cry, talking about my work with the veterans. So to me, the way when I talk, I hope I got the right name. I think it was Steve. We talked and he really made a point to tell me that he was emphasizing with this award my work with the veterans through the ice strikes.
Sure, yeah.
Which is something we do a lot here at Utah Trike also.
And we're super glad to have you. I, again, can't imagine it going to anybody else. I think.
Thank you.
You mentioned the ICE VTX earlier.
Yes.
Will you talk about the VTX for our...
So the VTX is basically the Ferrari of the trike. This is to my knowledge, and like I said, things happen every single day. The last time I checked, the VTX is the fastest trike on Earth. So it is a beautiful trike, really light and just designed for racing
Well, good.
and going fast and far.
That's how he was able to get all those records.
Exactly.
Done
Yeah.
everything
I mean, the guy on his got still got a pedal. So
Sure,
we
no.
got to remember there's someone pushing those pedals. But yeah, that's really a trike that was designed for people who want to go fast and race long distance.
Yeah, I know that you have an ice trike yourself. We've been hyping up the VTX a little bit. Is that what you're riding?
So not exactly.
Not exactly.
Like we talk
Not-
about
not at all, I don't think.
I mean, I think I'm
Same
still
brand.
riding on ice.
Still an ice.
It's still nice, but no, the VTX to me, to be honest, wasn't what I was looking for.
Sure.
I truly believe that when you buy, whatever you buy with wheel and pedals, you got to think about what you're going to do with it first. And for my use, I wasn't going to race or do anything where I want to be laying down close to the floor.
Right.
And it's just, yeah, wasn't making sense for my use there.
So what are you on?
So I'm on an Adventure HD.
Venture HD?
Yes, Ice Adventure HD.
And why'd you choose that one?
Why did I choose this one? So remember, I come from the bike industry. Okay, we have a saying in the bike industry, which is, how many bike is enough? And the answer is whatever number you have plus one. So when I started in the trike industry, coming with this mindset, I was like, where am I going to put all of those trike if I start buying all of them? And so what I really loved about the Adventure and with ice trike in general is they're modelable. So you can start with, let's say, a full 20-inch, no suspension, drum brake. And as you go through, you can upgrade to the 26-inch rear end. You can add suspension. You can add, basically, it will be, if it was a bike, that would be my dream bike. One that do it all. And the Adventure to me sit higher. So I thought about, I'm 45 now, almost 46. What are my main issues? And I'm not buying a trike to have it 2 years. I'm going to have it for the rest of my life.
Absolutely.
So I want something I want to be able to sit on when I'm 60. That's going to be comfortable and that's going to be able to go anywhere. Or like what we would call in the bike industry, the gravel bike, which this one goes, I can go off-road, on-road. I can switch the tires, and that's what I really love about it. Yeah.
You got one of the even more special editions, right?
Yeah. That's why I pulled the trigger. To be honest, I wasn't planning to buy a trike right away.
Right.
I bought it about, I think, 2 years in after I worked here. I'm lucky I was able to test every single trike and brand we have here. So that's a huge advantage, that's why I really love when I see people coming here because they can test and find what fit them.
Right.
And so I knew I wanted an Adventure over Sprint because the Sprint is pretty awesome too, but sits a little lower and will be faster. And Ice got a great idea to come up with their 25 years anniversary. And I'm going to be honest, that was the huge crush. I fell in love. Like literally, I saw the trike on their website, the color, this cream color with the stripe. I'm a big fan of 70s style. And that's the first thing, that's, you know what he exactly reminded me? Star Car and Hutch. The card is right. I know.
Oh, yeah.
Remember, I come from France. I'm living the American dream. So when I saw the trike, I was seeing those stripe and all of those colors, just fell in love. And I'm like, if I need to own a trike, that's the one I want. It's special. It's something that they will never make again in this color.
Right.
And it did such a great job with all of the little extra accessory that goes with it. I just needed to own it. And as a collector too, that's the type of piece you want to collect immediately. Yeah.
It looks great. I mean, I love, you have it in the back every once in a while, and I love seeing it. Customers love seeing it.
Yeah.
As I understand it, we have some footage of it that we're going to show off. I want them to see how beautiful this trike looks out on the road. So
hopefully it's not too dirty on the video.
well, I'm sure you'll make sure it's clean.
Cool.
Yann, you really love that trike. When it comes down to it, what is it that you love the most? Is it the comfort? Is it the way it rides? The suspension? The steering? Tell us.
It's really hard to pick one thing that really, really made me want this one. But I'm going to tell you one quick story, and I will tell you that's the comfort. And most of my biker friend, and I still ride bicycle. I mixed. Were making fun of me, but we went on a ride with Garrett, who also work here, and that was one of my first long ride with my trike, and we did some uphill. And at that time, I never went uphill with my trike or with a trike in general, so I had no clue what to expect. And going uphill, that was tough. And I started laughing, and Garrett was like, "What is wrong with you?" And I was like, "What I love about trike is I'm going uphill. My legs are burning, but none of a part of my body is hurting. When you're on a bike in the same situation, your neck is hurting, everything is hurting. But here it was like I can just focus on my leg." And so going back to this comfort you get on the trike is just unbelievable. How much, and don't get me wrong, it's not easier to go uphill, but it's easier to focus on this just one pen instead of struggling, and that keep you. I know I was happy. I had the smile up here with my leg burning because I was like, this is just amazing.
Because you're still able to enjoy the ride itself because your body's not hurting.
Exactly.
You are just
you're not hurting everywhere.
Right.
So you can really keep your mind focused on just keep pushing, and just as soon as you hop. Another thing that I love is you can stretch really easily. That's another thing, that it's a way better position than a bike if you need to stretch or if you start cramping. So the comfort on those trikes are unbelievable. Yes,
absolutely.
Can I ask, what have you done to your trike? So you have the stock Ice Adventure, 20-inch all the way around.
20. So I got 20 in the front, 26 in the back.
26.
Yeah.
And then I assume, what kind of seating position? Do you have suspension?
Yeah.
Are you glad you have the suspension?
So basically, you're gonna laugh, but I was like, that's gonna be one purchase. And I know, being in the industry for a long time, that it's cheaper to get all of the high-end or expensive stuff when you order the full trike than to try to change after. So I took all of the expensive option on it. So I have full suspension, disc brake, 26-inch rear wheel, rear disc brake, the deluxe seat with the neck rest, because all of these things, if I had it after, that would have cost me more money at the end.
So just to pick your brain a little bit more, earlier you said these trikes were very modular.
Yep.
Would there ever be a reason why you take the suspension out of the trike?
On this one, it's a pretty amazing suspension. They're elastomer, so they don't bother me when I ride on the road. But I'm a more old school guy, and I have a hard time with suspension when you're riding, for example, on the road, not off-road, but on the road, and you just feel kind of the trike moving under you too much. I don't like kind of this feeling, or if you're braking and it's kind of going down. So with this elastomer, it just gives me really extra comfort. And the reason why I will remove them, which in this case is not really working for me, I would get a sprint in this case. But if I wanted to just go fast and just ride to go fast, which is your VTX, you can have suspension on the sprint, but basically when you go fast, you want everything rigid because the transfer power.
Yeah, you don't want anything taking that cushion.
Exactly.
Power
Yes.
on the road. Right. So if you ever wanted to turn your comfort Ice Adventure into some hybrid sport vehicle, that would be the only time.
That will be the only reason. Because it's sitting higher, I'll probably do something crazy like some 700 rear wheel, maybe a 16-inch front wheel to get it really nice. And
you'd have to modify quite a bit.
But the thing is, it's not that hard. That's what I like about it. That's why, for example, I built a wheel set. I got my regular 20-inch in the front by 2-inch. I have another wheel set. My wheel, I go up to 3-inch tires. So when I go in the winter, all I do is pop up the wheel, put those new wheels, and suddenly I have a semi-fat tire trike.
Sure. Something in between.
Exactly. But, it's it's pretty cool to be able to just change those parts really quick. Yeah.
Does being a mechanic make all that a little easier?
Oh yeah.
Do you think that
Well-
that is something just a regular rider could do?
A regular rider could do it, swapping the wheels. After everybody have different skills. I mean, I'm always amazed. We have customers who build wheels, who do a lot of things. So if you know how to build your wheel, you don't actually really even need to. You can buy them. And swapping them on ice, you can I do have my regular bolts on wheels, but you can get those bolts on out. You can put a quick release, and it's like a bike. You just open your quick release, take them out, remove your wheels.
You always make it sound so easy.
I know. I hear that a lot.
Yeah.
Well, Yann, it's pretty obvious that you're an ice fanatic.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Just really excited about them.
Very subtle. And I know you have your hands on pretty much any and all trikes that are leaving our facility here.
Yep.
What is setting ice apart from all the other trike brands?
We have a lot of amazing trike here. And it always comes down to what I was saying at the beginning, to how people feel riding it and what they're looking for. So ice have a lot of great options. I know that to what I see, usually people back to sitting higher, having a nice turn radius. This is what we call an indirect steering. It's really light. I got a lot of friends, because I do a lot of work with the veterans on the side also, and we have veterans here. We have a lot of people coming we have amputee, we have people who have sometimes issues with their shoulder or arm, or people who had stroke. And one thing they always point out is how easy it is to turn it. Right. The turn radius and those indirect steering is just easier. Also, what they like is the smoothness of the ride, especially on the adventure, yes. For me personally, all of this, but I'm also a guy who can be really, I'm more on the emotional side. And so just for a little story, I fell in love with ice. One of the reasons was that, so I'm from France, my mom is from Normandy.
Right.
So my parents' house is literally on the French coast facing the ice factory in the Great Britain. And I thought that was a little extra thing that was so cool and add to the story when people ask about my trike.
Yeah.
So
like it was always meant to be.
It almost,
yeah, it was like destined to happen.
Exactly, you know. And the other thing too is they're really easy to work on. And obviously, I know you always make it look easy, but like trikes are not that hard and to work on. But sometimes there's just little detail that make the mechanic's life a little bit easier.
I know you mentioned it. Ices are really easy to work on. From a customer perspective, what should they be aware of when they're working on their own ice trike?
So probably I think what's really cool about it for the customers is all of the adjustments you can make on those trikes. So the seat is adjustable. First of all, you can order some special bracket if you're shorter or taller. So which give you even more adjustment on your seats. You can adjust your handlebar. The cool thing about those handlebar is you can adjust them in and out depending on the width of your shoulder, but also forward and backward depending on the length. So you can really find a comfortable position. And if you have any type of disability, that we see often, you could have one handlebar exactly when you need it and the other one adjusted if you have a shorter arm or anything like that. So that is really nice. The suspension is completely customized. Sorry, that's a hard one for me. So give me a hand, Brayden. Customizable. Here we go. And so we don't use this one in Idaho. That's why.
Yeah, they're not familiar with
exactly. And so, yeah, you adjust the rear suspension. It's really easy. Actually, they give you a manual with it. Right. And depending on the range, on your weight. And an extra thing I really love, it's not only your weight, but your weight. And if you go touring, they also give you weight with luggage. So if you're going to have rack and add luggage, they tell you, okay, you can readjust the suspension now, depending on that. So rear suspension is adjustable. They have different elastomer for the front suspension, depending on your weight, depending how you like your riding. I'm not a big fan of squishy suspension, soft suspension. Even on my bikes, all of my suspension are usually on the more, I will say, rigid setup.
Yeah.
Exactly. I like to I grew up on hardtail. So basically, suspension sometimes to me just feel like the thing is floating under me. So that's what is really cool with ice. It's all of this customization you can do to your specific need.
Talking about suspension, one thing that's really cool about ice trikes is that they use an elastomer-based rear suspension, which no other trike manufacturer is using. Can you tell me a little bit more about that?
Technically, they have 3 different elastomers, soft, medium, and hard. And there are 5 positions. So on the 20-inch rear end, you got 1 elastomer. On the 26, you get 2. And depending on your weight or your preferences, you can move this elastomer. The way I looked at it is it's a trike, okay? I know there's some brand who make extreme stuff out there for people who want to go on the track. For example, people in wheelchair who want to go do downhill and they go do those crazy things. Yes, they might jump a little bit. They need some harder suspension, something like longer travel suspension. Most of the track we do, we're not going to have a customer going down the hill and jumping this thing. So to me, it's more what I'm looking for. It's absorbing the vibration between the road or whatever terrain I'm on and my body. And so, of course, your tires is the first thing that's important because that's your first contact point. But the other thing too is those elastomers to me absorb most of the vibration. So I don't ever feel like I was feeling any vibration in my back on my seat.
Right.
And if I didn't have that, you definitely feel kind of. And it's funny because if you go what we call like sometimes you go off-road and is we call washboard, and you will feel in your arm, you start having those little hands under because it's other. And so that's why I really wanted to stick with ice suspension because that's what I was looking for. I wasn't looking for anything long travel. I was looking for something that absorbs so my body doesn't have to deal with it. And my body also doesn't get fatigued faster. Because all of those vibrations eventually get in your body and the friction that we're not doing an anatomy class here, so I'm going to stop.
We'll keep it trikes. Yeah, exactly. As a mechanic who rides an ice trike, what words of wisdom would you have for existing riders, new riders, guys just getting into it? What's some advice you've got for them?
I mean, my first advice, if you're a new trike rider coming from the bicycle industry specifically, take your time. Don't rush into buying the first trike you see. Try different one. Find the one that works for you. And of course, I do that with any big purchase. Here we go. I make a list of what I'm looking for. And I try to stick to it. Obviously, with ice, I went a little bit sideways. But that happened sometimes.
It's exciting.
Exactly. I saw this paint job and I'm like, I need to have that.
I saw the color and I like it.
Exactly.
Yep.
But so no, it's really important. And another thing, it's more physical. But for bike rider who move to trike, be ready to realize that there's way more muscle than you think in your legs. Yeah, I discovered muscles in my leg I didn't even know existed. And I race, I did long distance touring and things like that. And I get on this track and suddenly it's a whole new set of muscle working. So I think that if you can, when you come from the bike industry, get a nice little transition. But what I love is by doing both, I really kind of full workout for my leg. But so that was one of the things I was surprised with. The other thing is, remember, there's a lot of things that transfer from that. So, if you worry, get stuff with a trike, we will get with a bike, get lights, get a helmet. You'll be surprised. I ride way more on my trike than I will do on my bike because even if my leg gets fatigued, my body is just always ready. And the thing I wasn't expecting, you enjoy way more your ride also because when you're on a bicycle you're fighting your balance, so up to a certain speed, even going uphill, you don't see things. On a trike you're always ready, you're on 3 wheels, so you're not going to roll. So what I mean is I was surprised that I took more time, I enjoy it more. So another thing I had to start doing more is bring more water on my ride, bring more snack on my ride. I start bringing, I'm not a guy, I went to Africa the kids were like, where's your camera? And I was like, that's my eyes. I don't want to spend time. And on the trike, I surprised myself starting taking pictures and doing things that I wouldn't do on a bicycle. So for new trike rider, I think it's really exciting because you just open a whole new door to what cycling is. And, that's made a huge difference for me. Yeah.
That makes me really excited to hear. I've never even considered the nature, right, of it. I get to see visually. I'm taking in more of my surroundings.
Exactly.
I have never
focused on the bike more on just being present.
And which also bring that you got to be more aware, but you got to remember it's a trike also. So for new trike rider, you want to stay safe. It just came in my mind that I had a few close calls because I was still thinking like a bike rider. And it's like, no, I'm lower. So another important thing is definitely to be seen. So that's a big thing. On the bike, I never really thought about it. I would have my helmet if you like, but on the trike, I'm overcautious, bigger light, more bright, more light. I really want people to see me.
We have this conversation kind of all the time with customers, right? Coming from the sales scene, we're talking to them all the time. Do you think just as an argumentative piece, kind of, do you think the color of the frame of the trike you're riding on is as important as flag, lights, whatever clothes you're wearing when you're riding? Do you think the frame is important for safety and being visual?
To me, it is. So I'm not going to start getting you my whole resume.
Sure.
But I'm also an instructor from the Bicycle League of America. So I used to go to DC, do advocating. I used to go to school. I work with Safe Route to School. So here's one of the big things. People always think, I have light, I have this flag sticking out and everything. The problem is all of those things, people when they're driving have a tendency to focus just on this little part. I've seen people with amazing lights, like those light poles. The problem is if I'm riding and all I see is a straight line of light, I have no clue what it is attached to. And I'm talking when it's dark, of course. So the color of the frame, the brighter the frame, the better it is to me because you can see it, you can size it. I'm throwing a little bit of safety in.
Good. Perfect.
Doing my little spiel.
It's just as important as getting out there.
So always remember, always a front fixed light, and you can have the backlight blinking. Blinking is usually better for the driver's eyes because when you get a fixed point, you can really kind of gauge how far. The blinking works better in the back, but in the front, you always want it fixed and you want it to a height when you can see, but you don't blind your driver coming facing you. Yeah.
Sure. He wants to know what he's trying to avoid.
Exactly. Yep.
We really appreciate you coming on Trike Talk with us today and giving us all your insights on ice and the bicycle industry as a whole. We love working with you, and we definitely love talking trikes with you, and we hope you'll be back on with us again. We're going to keep asking.
More questions.
For sure. It's more fun. Look, my hand are even clean then.
There you go.
Yann, as a bonus surprise question, kind of talking about more of your personal life here, not as much trikes. I hear you like to sell honey in our local farmers market.
Oh.
I love hearing about it. Please tell us what you enjoy the most about selling honey.
Well, let me put it this way. I'm a really bad seller. Okay, I hate selling.
Mm-hmm.
But when it comes down to something I personally believe in and I use, I will do whatever it takes for you to buy it because I want you to enjoy it. So the story went that I started using this local honey. I got my citizenship 2 years ago. I was like that since I moved here. Whenever I leave, I want to support local economy. I want to use farmer products. My mom grew up in Normandy. So that's what I've seen my whole life growing up, farmers and things. So I started using this honey myself. And about 6 months in, I was in the store buying my honey in a local store, natural grocery store, obviously. And and the guy, the beekeeper was actually refilling his honey. And I knew the manager of the store, and she's like, come with me. I want you to meet the beekeeper. And we just start talking. And okay, I'm going to say it this way because I heard it a lot before. It's not completely true, but that helped. He looked at me and he's like, hey, dude, You're obviously you're French. You got an accent. Like with that, you're gonna sell so much of my honey. I want you to come on the market sell my honey. And I told him the only reason I'm considering doing it is because I'm using your honey and I believe in it. I know the quality of it and I can speak about it. Exactly like I will do with ice. You know what I mean? That's the way I am. So yes, I sell honey. It's local. It's 100% natural, unfiltered, and every Saturday at the Provo market.
Yeah, just in case anybody wanted, local Utah honey.
Exactly. And when I say local, and even better, I'm not talking local Utah. I'm talking Utah County. At this point, we have over 800 eyes spreading the whole county, and we're collecting everything. I mean, okay, they collect. Because that's the problem
you don't
when
have
you're
your own bees.
well,
You're
not
a
me.
beekeeper.
The problem is when you're passionate with too many things, time start running out. So I'm here Monday to Friday. In the summer, so from June to October, November, every Saturday market from 9 to 2, selling honey. And any free time I have, all of my racers in the Rusty Dogs of War are spread all over the country. But my main racer who got me in, Caleb, is in Vegas. So any free time I have, I will either be down there working on his trike or we will have race. So I'll be out on the race. And I got some other stuff. Busy guy. It's America, right?
Yeah.
So that's why I came here. I wanted to have the possibility to do whatever I wanted to do and enjoy it.
One busy bee you could.
Yeah, I know.
You're hard work.
Here's the big thing. I don't work. I come here and live my passion. So no matter what I do, that's what I'm trying to do. Is just everything is a passion. So you make it easier. You don't still see it as work. Yeah.
Can't stress it enough. Love having you here.
Thank you, Juan, and I love being here. Yeah, I'd be happy to come back. Yeah, it was awesome. I had a good time.
Well, everyone, that's all we have time for today here at Trike Talk. If you have any questions about Trikes, quads, or anything in between, make sure to leave a comment below, like, subscribe, ring that notification bell, and remember,
Don't forget to relax, spin fast, and ride trike.
we'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.
Do you want to make Yann say that? Make Yann say it.
Hey, Yann, could you say that in French for us?
I wasn't supposed to memorize anything.
You just need that. You can read your shirt. I read my shirt.
what should we remember to do?
That's what he'll say.